Welcome to the History Hunter, welcome to our small adventures with the World War II time frame. Today I got something special for you, don't want to miss this episode. But before that I want to say, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Please do watch the video in full, that helps us out tremendously. And if you want to, you can check out the Patreon and PayPal thing. But if you comment, share our material, well, it's much appreciated. Today it's all about a German secret antenna area where there were lots of stuff. There were even some bunkers and even a prisoner of war camp. On this hill here is a very kind of barren hill even today. There were antennas, there were some foundations, there was thousands of meters of trenches, they say. Even a prisoner of war camp. There were 3 perimeters of barbed wire fencing around there. Further up the hill there were some kind of bunker arrangements, some strange holes in the ground, trenches coming up and down in the terrain, something that could have been an underground thing, and even a flak gun position. There are a lot of these scattered around, huge concrete foundations. We're going to see if we can figure out what they are, and basically this is what it would look like. Huge antennas rising up into the air, 30-40 meters, and I guess the Germans had a lot of things going on there. So that is our target for today. Let's go out, let's find the path together right now. Welcome to the History Hunter and my small adventures with the World War II time frame. Today I'm passing through an area. I read that there should be a prisoners of war and a work camp around this location here, so I'm just trying to figure out what's happened here and if there is something at all to look at today, and hopefully I'll be able to share some images with you here this very beautiful winter day. My first objective is to try and localize some trenches. I read that the Germans actually started and managed to do over 2,000 meters of running trenches up here. They had huge plans for this area and they wanted to do it very quickly, and they used the prisoners of war to achieve their goal up here. I know for a fact that a lot of these trenches are filled in, so it's going to be quite difficult actually to actually find some of them, but I'm thinking maybe a bit further up there. And then again, let's have a look here. Here is something interesting. Every time you go into a forest and you find rocks like that, that means someone did something here. You will not find rocks like that if it wasn't for someone doing something around here. And I can see actually a depression in the ground here. So I'm gonna check up that first. Yeah, something actually took place here. See this build up here? That's not normal. A lot of, you could say, blown up rocks, chiseled rocks laying around here. So definitely something going on. And I'm not sure, but I also know that they had a couple of 20mm flak guns here. So I'm hoping to find, maybe this could have been one of these spots where they actually had the flak guns, who knows. Wow, I just found the first clue that something happened here. And I have to say that took me by surprise, but there is something going on right here. You can see someone built kind of a wall structure there, and just goes on down here, and I'm going to show you something in the end here. Wow, I think we actually found the first trench. Look at that. Here is like a dip in the terrain, like here, and it just goes on and on down here. Looks like you can see it here, the profile of the trench. So I'm guessing either a access trench up to the higher area, and it's at least a meter deep. It's been covering. Oh, they cover it up when they put down the cut down trees, and definitely a trench going on here. So we have to dig into this a little bit more. This is kind of interesting actually. I followed this trench for about 100 meters, and I can see that it's coming from the lower part of this area. You can see it's been filled in, and it goes all the way up to the top area here. So that must have meant something important. Why would you make a running trench in the middle of a forest if it didn't count for something? But here you can see, you can just follow it up here. That's pretty exciting. Well, I'm guessing, as I know, none of the work that the Germans did were in vain. They didn't throw away any chance of putting up structures at a special spot. But I see this wall here, I showed you at first, this wall here, and the trench is going down here. I believe that this area is where there was a bunker. I'm almost 100% sure. I found huge chunks of concrete, rebars, everything. So I think we are standing on the exact spot where they had a bunker, and the trench was a running trench leading up towards the there's a huge chunk of concrete, and that wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for what they had here. So I'm guessing they blew it up after the war and it's all gone. But that's why the trench is coming up from here over to this spot where we're standing right now. And then something pretty unexpected. Look at that. That is some sort of square concrete foundations. They too, right in the middle of the forest. And I have read something about a communication outpost up here with huge antennas and stuff. I'm not sure whether the Germans built those or not. But here you can see there's another one. And this is basically the area that I'm gonna search or look in, and maybe a little bit behind me as well. So I'm gonna check out that lower part and see what's down there. This is basically more like it used to look before they started cutting down the forest in this area. Just a chaos of trees. But something is very strange here. I can't see any more trenches, and why is that? Do I see a structure down there? I'm gonna go further down here and check out one thing here. Wow, look at those. That is pretty special standing around here. What are these things here? And look at that, there's a metal type of thingy there in the ground. A bracket, huge bracket, and some steel bars coming out of these concrete blocks. And there's another one. Oh, there's another one as well. Maybe this is where they had the radio masts. I think they could have been the spot where they started working on the radio mast. Look at that. And this thing here, it's not been set up there for nothing. Look at that. That's a bracket, probably some support structures for the huge communication mast they were planning on putting up here. Look at that. That looks pretty special. So I'm gonna head up towards that place to the higher grounds. And there was supposed to be barracks, another fortified bunker thing, a 37mm pack flak gun position. So let's head up there and see what we can find. At least we find some trenches. We found some trenches and these structures. Look at that. There's a huge concrete piece laying on the side. And why is that there? Look at that huge shackle. That must have been an attachment point for something. Yeah. And wow, look at that, look at that, look at that. Do you see it? A huge, well, that's the same as the other one. I'm starting to think that the Germans actually used the prisoners of war up here to construct these things here. And there's another one laying right there. These must have been a part of the work to get the communication poles up here. Must have been. Maybe they had a huge radio mast and these were the cables supporting the high. I think they had masts here, radio masts over 60 meters high or something like that. Wow, cool. thinking I'm on the wrong side actually, because if the Germans were expecting some kind of Allied intervention or something, they would come from this side here, and now we've been on the other side, so maybe I should go over there and have a look at that area. And yes, wouldn't you know it, even one more. That was not easy to see, and I see the huge structure is behind there. This is a very long, flat, square, rectangular piece of the concrete, and here is a hook to connect it something, maybe some cables. Let me take you up here. Look at that. There's another one of these huge structures, the square ones, and look at that. That to me looks like something that's been assembled, and it probably had a very specific task, maybe holding the communication poles. This is not easy to see either. Here's an embankment as well, and this is right on the top of this hill, so I'm guessing right around here they had placed something. I'm almost 100% sure they must have had a flak gun right here. And this is the position or direction they wanted to prevent the Allied from coming. So I'm guessing this is a flak gun position right here. I just spotted something here, and I'm not too sure whether that has got something to do with it. But I've seen and studied a photo from the 50s, from an aerial photo, and yeah, it is. Right here in this area, there was a huge barrack standing right here, right in this square here. And I've never been able to figure out what that barrack did there, but I did see it all the way up to 19, maybe some 61, 62 in the early photos, and then it just disappeared. So this is the base or center point of this area, I think, but there's nothing to reveal what stood here or what was here. Small discovery again. This is the area where the barrack, whatever house was, and then I'm going down here. I see one special feature here. There's a line going down here, and wouldn't you know, another trench. And let's go down here, see if I can show that to you. You can see it's been filled in during the years of the maintenance work of the forest and all the activity here. But when you come down here, you can actually very easily see the features of a running trench. Rock stacked up there, and that's coming down from the lower part here as well. Look at that. This is where they actually entered the facility on the top. So we have two locations now, one at the first spot I showed you, and then one coming up here, up towards that thing on the top. That's very, very interesting. Wow, I did not expect that. Look at that, perfect circular dugout right here, you can see. It's on the top, and let me show you something. It leads in to the trench. It's coming from down here. This is the area where the house or barrack was. I'm guessing the German soldiers were living there. I think the trench went up here, and this is the dugout. They must have had a machine gun nest or something like that, because that will give you a very good view of that direction down there. Very cool. So what are we looking at? Well, we're actually looking at one of the most sure signs that I know of the German activity. That is a concrete piece with a square hole inside, and you might wonder, so what? Well, this is actually something pretty special. This is what they pulled over the top of the hill. They had huge wooden poles stuck down in that hole, and they could put the camouflage canvas over the whole area when the canvas was lifted on top of the big poles that was in that hole there. Everywhere I go on the top here, they make a circle around the area of the barrack on the top, and that makes me even more convinced that their sole mission was to cover up the whole top here, because it's pretty exposed. This area here that we're coming into is very exciting. You can actually see this from Google Earth. And wow, look at that. Yeah, that's where it is. I think they had some makeshift bunkers here. Look at that. Concrete foundation all the way around here. Oh, I'm stuck with that. Let me see. Yeah, look at that. Concrete structures. They try to fill in as the years go by, so you'll see less and less, but definitely the back wall of a concrete construction there. I'm guessing a more lightweight type of bunker on the top here. So I'm going to check out further down. Oh, I can see some trenches as well. Cool, let's go down and have a look. Yeah, look there, heavy duty concrete construction laying there. And then you have another side wall here, concrete, and there's a wall next to it. And this is exciting. There's a huge trench going down here. So maybe this is where the trench is starting from the top here. Gonna check that out. Here is something that has taken my interest right now. Let me show you this. See this pile here? Quite high. It's about a meter higher than me, so about 2-3 meters high. That's just a lot of rubble. And I think maybe this is the ditch place for all the rubble that they dug out on the top to put in the bunker, or something else. I can see something happening here. The rocks has been placed there. And I know by some stories from some elderly people, they said there used to be a bunker here. And I'm guessing maybe that is the entrance. And they just cover it up. Wow. Definitely gonna check into that. That is quite intriguing. I'm now hooked on a possibly bunker. See here, it's quite flat, and you come over to here, it's quite flat, and this huge pile here, and that is 10 times more than what they could have dug out from the top there. So I've seen a lot of the German structures, like the smaller bunkers, covered up with rocks like this. I have to get some more or older aerial photos, see if I can get that. But if it was covered up right after or during the war, that would be very, very difficult to spot. But this is going to be something that I really, really going to look forward to dig into. While I'm at it here, just want to take the opportunity to thank you for watching, subscribing, supporting me. I'm very, very, very grateful and happy for that. And it gives me great pleasure to share things like this with all of you out there who might not have the chance to go to small adventures like I did. So very happy to be able to share all these moments with you. Just came across this thing here. That looks promising. Look at that. It's a whole square. You can see some foundation left here. What is that? That looks like it could have been an important part of the structures up here. Maybe it's a guard hut because it's on the way up here. That looks very, very interesting. Well, that's about it. It was a nice small spot to dig into. We'll definitely be back. Now I know a little bit more, and now you know how it is to go out here and don't have a clue about what you're looking for, finding the things, and then you have to plan for a second trip when you bring the metal detector and you check out the area really, really good. Well, that's about it for now, and I just have to say thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, commenting, supporting me. Really appreciate that, and a huge thank you to all my patrons and PayPal supporters. Really, really happy for your kind support. Until next time, have a nice day, and I'll definitely see you later.